The classic debate between Mandana Misra and Adi Shankara. A write-up by Sri T. N. Setumadhavan in the year 2013. Gist of the great debate. As the debate between Mandana Misra and Shankara, the two great stalwarts, lasted for a very long duration, its content is very wide in its spread and deep in its treatment. The following is the gist of these mammoth discussions. Initiating the debate, Shankara put forward the unity of all existence as follows. Brahman, the existence consciousness, bliss absolute, Sat Chit Ananda Jnanam, is the one ultimate truth. It is He who appears as the entire world of multiplicity, owing to dense ignorance, just as a shell appears as a piece of silver. Just as when the illusion is dispelled, the silver is sublated by and dissolved into its substratum, the shell, so too, when ignorance is erased, the whole world is sublated and dissolved into the substratum, Brahman, which is the same as one's own Atman. This is supreme knowledge as well as liberation. It brings about cessation of future births. The Upanishads, which form the crown of the Vedas, are the authority in support of this proposition. I am sure to prove this and be victorious in this debate. If, however, I am defeated, I shall cease to be a sannyasin, abandon the ochre robes, and assume the white dress. Let Ubhaya Bharati be the umpire to determine success or failure. In reply to this statement, Mandana Misra made his contention as follows. The Vedantas or the Upanishads cannot be a proof of something which is intangible, that is pure consciousness, unoriginated and infinite, which has no subject-object distinguishing feature. For words can reveal only objects which are originated entities, but never an abstract feature called consciousness. Therefore, the non-Vedantic part of the Vedas, dealing with effects produced by works, that is karma kanda, is the real verbal testimony. In the light of performance of the actions in the form of rituals alone, or the steps leading to moksha or liberation. If I happen to be defeated in argument, I shall take to the life of sannyasa. As requested by you, let my wife Ubhaya Bharati be the judge for the contest. Agreeing to the conditions put forward by each other, the contestants started the debate, witnessed by the learned sages and even celestials. Quoting from the Vedas as their authority and supported by enlightened arguments, the debate went on for several days. The arguments became keener and more complex, and the refutations and denials also became correspondingly stronger and bolder. Both the contestants raised more and more intricate questions. There was a downpour of assertions and objections from either side. Quotations from the scriptures were marshalled with marvelous skill by both and exploited to lend support to their case. And the debate went on. Neither side could humble the other. The Acharya Mandana dialogue was of such eloquence, scholarship, and profundity that even the gods assembled over Mandana's house and from above, remaining hidden from view, listened attentively to the debate. In this way, the debate was carried on for several days. As the days went by, Mandana started finding it difficult to maintain his position and give proper replies to Shankara's objections. Thereupon, Mandana, instead of defending his thesis, commenced attacking Advaita doctrine, expounded in the Upanishads as put forward by Shankara. The sum and substance of the objections and the replies of the rivals are as under. Both Mandana and Shankara accept the authority of the Vedas as the revelation standing for the ultimate good of man. Mandana's school, Purva Mimamsa, holds that the only purpose of the Veda is to prompt man to actions, that is, rituals sanctioned by the Veda, by performance of which man attains heavenly felicity of long duration, at the end of which he returns to earth, again to acquire more merits by performing karmas. So the real nature of the Veda is of the nature of the commandments to actions of a ritualistic nature. If there are purely descriptive passages in it, these are descriptions of certain aids to karma, like its ingredients, agents required, or eulogy of rituals, etc. All such passages are to be considered as subordinate to the commandments instituting rituals. Thus, the whole of the Veda is an injunction for performance of rituals, and if this is not accepted, the Veda becomes a mere trash, a purposeless literature. Contrary to this view are the views of Uttara Mimamsakas or Vedantins led by Shankara. They contend that the Veda has two sections, Karma Kanda or the ritualistic section and Jnana Kanda or philosophic or knowledge section. The latter is the crown of the Veda. What the ritualists say is true of only Karma Kanda and not of the Veda as a whole. The Jnana Kanda, consisting of the Upanishads, also known as Vedanta, reveal the real or ultimate meaning of the Veda, and the Karma Kanda portions are merely preparatory to this. Therefore, to extend the philosophy of ritualism to the understanding of the Upanishads is a great blasphemy. The statements of the Upanishads are not commandments for any action, but revelations of the nature of the ultimate reality and man's relation to it. They are an end in themselves and not aids to the performance of any ritual. The understanding conveyed by them releases man from the false sense of duality and establishes him in the experience of the unity of all existence, that is, Advaitam or non-duality, thus releasing him forever from the repetitive process of births and deaths or samsara by rousing in him the sense of oneness with eternal bliss. To put briefly, for Mandana and his school of thought, Veda is revelation, teaching and prompting man to perform efficacious rituals to get perishable felicities, while for Shankara and his school of followers, the same revelation of the Veda is a philosophy, an understanding of which establishes him in eternal bliss, the unity of all existence, moksha or liberation. Ubhaya Bharati, the umpire, accepted the cogent arguments of Shankara and overruled the contentions of Mandana Misra, thereby defeating him, her own husband. The rest was history as already described. Conclusion. From the foregoing account of the discussion, the following facts emerge. 1. Quoting various authorities and supporting the same with weighty arguments, the contest was conducted in a highly dignified manner, producing more light than heat, the contestants showing due respect to each other. 2. Women were held in high esteem and noted for their scholarship and erudition, and more so because of their impartiality and fair-mindedness. 3. The Guru-Sishya relationship between Shankara and Sureshwara proves the dictum in the Dakshinamurti Stotram that a Guru can be young and a Sishya can be old, and that such association has got nothing to do with age of the persons concerned. The transformation of her husband into a sannyasi distressed Bharati to no end. Wise and prudent as she was, she kept her counsel and addressed Shankara thus: You do know that the sacred texts enjoin that a wife forms one half of a husband's body, that is Ardhangini. Therefore, by defeating my lord, you have but won over only half of him. Your victory can be complete only when you engage in debate with me also and manage to prove yourself better. Ubhaya Bharati was a learned scholar herself, and a very clever one at that. Knowing very well that Shankara was a strict celibate, she asked him, how can a sannyasi who has no experience as a citizen and a householder claim complete knowledge? She immediately started discussing relationships and marital obligations. Shankara confessed that he had absolutely no knowledge in this area because he was a celibate. However, Ubhaya Bharati felt that she should give Shankara some time to study about this topic before resuming the debate. Shankara immediately accepted the offer and left to start his studies. Through his yogic powers, Shankara came to know of a certain king who was about to die. He instructed his disciples to preserve his body, which he temporarily left to enter the dying king's body. The king happened to be a very evil man, yet his wives were loyal to him and were in tears when the king was in his deathbed. Suddenly, when the king's body woke up, one of the wives noticed that the king had recovered under rather mysterious circumstances and appeared to have become a changed man. Shankara learned from that woman all that he needed to know about man-woman relationship and experiences. On his way out of the body, he blessed that lady who had taught him so much. Empowered with this new-found knowledge, Shankara returned to resume the debate with Ubhaya Bharati. This time, he was clearly unbeatable. Ubhaya Bharati and Mandana Misra bowed their heads in humility and accepted defeat and became followers of Adi Shankara and staunch Vedantins. Mandana Misra was given Sannyasa Diksha and was given the name Sureshwara. Shankara imparted to Mandana Misra the Mahakavya Tattvam Asi, Tattwamasi. Shankara, having thus brought the celebrated Mandana into his own fold, started again on his mission. Sri Sureshwaracharya was the most talented disciple of Shankara Bhagavatpada. He was placed as the first head of Sringeri Sharada Peetham in the south, one of the mutts established by Shankara. He was the greatest scholar after Shankara in those times. He was elder to Shankara in age. He is also called as Vartikacharya. He wrote commentary on Shankara's Brahma Sutra Bhashyam and Dakshinamurti Stotram. Ubhaya Bharati wanted to finish her avatara and go back to her abode. Shankara prays to her and requests her to bless people on earth. It is Ubhaya Bharati who is considered to be blessing the devotees as Sharadamba from Sringeri.